education of children,
which
will equalize everybody in the country and make everybody useful in the country.
Right, John Mbadi, when we look at that, I don't know what will be a reaction. We have the Deputy Majority Speaker there saying, you know, we will deal with the judicial ignorance. From your assessment, what will be the judicial ignorance? And when you have, you know, one part of government sort of really amputating the other side of the government, which will be part of it, like you have, of course, the three arms of government being the legislature and, of course, the executive, the judiciary, and one of is castigating and casting aspersions on the other. What do we perceive, we as Wananchi?
You know, and Shule is my colleague in Parliament and a friend. She's the Deputy Speaker of the National Assembly. I want to say she's the one who is ignorant. There's no judicial ignorance. She's the one who is ignorant about the responsibility and the role of the judiciary in our Constitution. I want to speak to the President and speak also to his sycophants that this Constitution, the 2010 Constitution, did not drop like a manna from heaven to Kenyans. We fought for it. Kenyans lost their lives. Kenyans were maimed. There are people who are still alive but would be living more healthy life than they are. If they think that because they are in power, they can subvert and erode the gains that the people of Kenya gave themselves through this Constitution, they are in for a rude shock. I will tell you, if they thought there is only one Raila Odinga in this country, they are giving birth to so many Raila Odingas, some who are even younger. They should prepare as many jails as possible, the cells for us to be put in. We are not going to allow the President and his sycophants to take Kenya back to before 1990. It is not going to work. And if they are deluding themselves that that is what they want, that is what they will do, they will not succeed. You cannot choke and suffocate Kenyans. You cannot intimidate the judiciary. And I hope and I pray that our judiciary is not going to be intimidated. This is blackmail. How can the President now talk the way he's speaking when he assumed power, he pretended and cheated and lied to Kenyans? Although we know him, this is the real Ruto, the one that we are now seeing. But the Ruto from September 2022 was a fake one. The one who pretended to tell Kenyans that he's going to obey and respect the rule of law is not the Ruto we know. And now the Ruto we know is coming up. But we are telling him he's living in a different environment. Kenyans are more alert, are more educated, are having a stronger constitution that we didn't have so many years ago when Kanu and Moi regime was choking us. How can you now tell the whole country that you are not going to obey and respect court orders? You are not above the law. You should read Article 132 of the Constitution. One of the cardinal roles given to the President is that he should be reporting to Kenyans every year on the progress made and the gains in terms of actualizing Article 10 of the Constitution, which is the national values. And one of the national values is rule of law. Then you are telling us that you are not going to enforce rule of law. You are sliding the country into anarchy. What if all Kenyans now decide to set aside the rule of law? And if I want to now invade you, you want to invade my house in Karen, you just come and invade my house in Karen if you have more strength than I do? Would that be the country that we are calling for? Ruto should prepare for serious resistance. And people are going to go to the streets. Those who had not even gone to the street before will go. You can see the church now has started speaking. You can see the civil society, the Law Society of Kenya. Some politicians who are quiet are now going to speak. This is something we are not going to allow because, look, he is only now seeing corruption in the judiciary. And I'm not saying judiciary is clean. We have talked about it before. Remember President Uhuru refused to appoint some judges. He came into office and appointed them without even any investigation. And he's saying he was obeying the law, which is perfect, good. But now why is he saying that there are corrupt judges? If what Uhuru said yesterday, he didn't agree to. Mm-hmm. He's only seeing corruption because these judges have issued orders against some of his policies which are clearly unconstitutional. And he was warned, by the way. People told him, how do you start taking money from Kenyans on a program that does not even have a policy? If I may ask you today, what is the policy around this affordable housing? There is no policy. You cannot start taxing people, then develop policy later. Who are going to benefit from these houses? How is that going to be? You are taking my money. If you take my money to NSSF, I know when I retire, I'll get it. If you take my money to NHIF, which is now SHIF, I know when I fall sick, there's some benefits. If you take my money as pay as you earn, I know it is going to develop roads, develop schools, where my children, even if not directly, some children from my village will learn. If you're taking my money to develop houses, tell me who is going to benefit from those houses before you take that money. And you are told, we will take it whether you like it or not. If judiciary dares stop us, we will ignore them and then crush them. And then you call for a meeting in your village, as Honorable Manzo puts it, and you get your sycophants from the village, people who are now no longer speaking for the people. They are speaking to please you as the president so that they can retain their seats. And then they spew venom. You hear people threatening judiciary. Which country is this? This is not the Kenya that we thought we were promulgating in 2010, August. 2010, we thought there was a paradigm shift. We thought things were going to be different. There was fresh air in the air. I mean, freshness in the air. Kibaki was hailed as the president was presiding over a rebirth of a nation. Uhuru, with all his weaknesses, left us a constitution that is largely intact. A lot of rulings were made against Uhuru, some of which he also ignored, and I blame him for that, including allowing Miguna to come back to the country. But he also respected the judgment of the coast. Despite his anger, he's the first president who lost an election petition in the region. He's the first president who lost a petition against his pet project of BBI, but he accepted it. Ruto must accept when the judiciary makes decision against him. He is